So welcome back, guys, for another video. So today will be an update again on my progress. Unfortunately, I was not able to finish everything before I have to go back to work, basically, which is unfortunate. So hopefully next week I'm going to be able to finish it, which I did say the last video. But I'll basically show you what I've been able to do in the 3 days that I had. So let's get to it. So I got a whole big mess here now. Got all this dirt out. The tote, able to move it, which is good. So I don't think I have to dig any more. I just have to take some of this water out. So I basically dug on this side, a little bit on that side, but majority I dug over there. And then basically pushed it this way with my brother. So inside my greenhouse, it is now a mess. I got this whole area moved over. So my brother and I moved this grow bed here. These things are not light. They're pretty heavy. And then we took out that IBC tote. I got all this dirt over here, so it's a big mess over here. So now I just got to make this hole bigger, expand it more that way, go deeper, since I was able to get another IBC tote. So basically I took out this guy over here, which I have over here, which is a 275 gallon IBC tote. So we had to fit it through this area over here, which is nice. I was luckily it fit through there. I was thinking I was gonna have to take off this screen on this side, which would mean I would basically have to cut the insect netting, which would be unfortunate or not so nice, but because I was able to fit it out through this, it worked perfectly. So basically I'm replacing this guy with a bigger one, which is a 330 gallon IBC tote, which is the same size as those ones. So it will give me 55 more gallons for the sump tank. Also, I'm going to be doing this a little differently. I'm going to be building a wooden frame kind of around it, plus putting insulation in there. The reason I'm putting a wooden frame around it is so it'll be easier to take out in case I move and stuff like that, so I don't have to leave it in the ground for the next owner. But it was pretty tough to take out. It was easier to take out than if I just put the tote in here, because I did have this pond liner, which I have out here. I actually had this thing wrapped around this whole entire tote, which prevented dirt from accumulating in all this areas. If I didn't have that on there, I probably would have given up and not even trying to take this out, because that might have been too tough. It's been quite heavy with all the dirt just gunked up in there and everywhere. So I'm lucky I stuck that around the tote. But that being said, basically next week I'm gonna be focusing on doing this, which would be putting wood in there, insulating it, then getting the tank in there, and then hopefully I can get the plumbing as well in that time period. But I did finish the other plumbing on all these tanks over here. So all the plumbing over here is done, and all the plumbing over here is done as well. This is actually up and running right now. Well, kind of. It has a small pump, which is not that strong, just to circulate the water for the fish in here. This is all dry fitted, and the only leak that I can see is pretty much right here, which is slowed down a good amount. The reason I dry fitted it, because it was quite challenging to get all this stuff in here, because I had to constantly move stuff around. So I might glue it later on, or might not, since so far it's holding up, or I'll look into another way of how to seal this if need be. So that is that. I also have this tank hooked up onto here so the water can flow back, or well, basically into the filter. Right now it's just flowing back into this tank over here. So there's water from here going into there, and a little bit of water coming into this tank and the recircling and coming out through here. It's quite filled with algae right now, but it's nice to have all that plumbing done. These filters are all good. I just got to fill them up with the media and finish off some other stuff inside of them as well. So I got a more mess over here as well. Also, I got to do the electrical. I got to take all that out, raise it up, and probably put it along here. That is the plan, but we'll see. So here's the new toad I'll be putting in the ground. The only really difference between them is that this one is taller here. I think the other one's 40 something inches. This one is 53 inches. So it gives it 55 more gallons, which is not a big difference, but it should make a good difference for the aquaponic system. And this particular one is a food grade tank. It originally stored, it says somewhere in here, wine. So that should be easy to clean. Not like the other ones which had oil in it. And you also get ones that I like. Well, you get ones that have ridges in here. I like the ones that have flat walls, just because they don't have the extra spots to accumulate debris and stuff like that. Plus, it is easier to clean. I was actually just gonna stick this tank back in there, since I couldn't find a bigger totes used for a good price. Or I did find them, but they're all like 2 hours away, which would mean a 4-hour round trip. So I would have basically just put that guy back in and just turned it around, just so it fits closer under there and that it's under this grow bed instead of taking up more space over here. But I decided to look online again, and I was able to find one which was like 23 minutes away, half an hour basically away, and for a cheaper price than the ones that were farther away. So I got lucky with that. That way I don't have to redo anything over again. But this should have been fine, but I did want to have 55 extra more gallons in here just to be safe. Well, there you have it. That about sums up this video. It's fairly simple, just showing you what I did this week, which isn't much. Hopefully, as I mentioned, I can finish everything in the next week, the next few days I have during that time, which would be nice, so I can have these fish and the system up and running, or the water up and running, so the fish can have fresh water. So that's pretty much that. If you do have any questions or comments, remember to leave those below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.